Well, welcome, welcome. Michelle and I were just noticing that we're now going into our fourth year of doing Love in Action. Isn't that amazing? We've been doing this since the beginning of the pandemic, and I love this. I love this as being the start of the week, and I love connecting with all of you. And I also want to have you welcome anybody, invite anybody who you think could just use a little more contact and a little more support, because what we're really up to here is sharing the nourishment of attention, sharing the nourishment that most of us didn't really get very fully and may still not be receiving, that the primary nutrient of attention. And I wanted to read you this little excerpt from a new book by David Brooks, whom I greatly admire. He's really talking about the emotional resources that we need in society in a very elegant way. So here's what he says. His book is How to Know a Person: The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen. So I thought, well, hey, what do we do in Loops and Scoops? We do exactly that. And so here's what he's saying. And he's done lots and lots of research and has many really great articles. But the heart of what he's saying is there is one skill that lies at the heart of a healthy person, family, school, community, organization, or society: the ability to see someone else deeply and make them feel seen, to accurately know another person, to let them feel valued, heard, and understood. And my sense is that that's exactly what Loop of Awareness and Love Scoops are about: is opening more of our capacity, even in just those little moments of I see you, I'm willing to be seen by you. And that connection is really what I do when I'm out and about in the world, and even when I'm not, when I'm just thinking of other people, because my sense is that loop of awareness works across time and space. And so if I'm thinking of another person, I'll get, often I'll get a text from them of that they got it, they received it. And I just think that's just so wonderfully magical. And it really has to do with, I have the sense that what we do is gather and intentionally send our attention in a particular direction. And that's what we've been playing with, is all of the different ways we can do that we can do it, like a sprinkler, we can do it like a fire hose, we can do it like a sprinkler that's going across the lawn. But what was coming to me today, well, is first of all, let yourself check if you are willing to be seen. As I remember, back, it was a couple of decades ago, but it was really, we had moved out here to California, and I realized that um, I had created a kind of a mantra: I'm willing to be seen in the light. And I realized when I said that my being seen was a source of great distress for me. There's all kinds of stories with that, but I was not looked at. I was not seen with regard, with warmth, with welcoming. And I imagine that all of us have little wounds in our receiving, our being seen. And so when you say, I'm willing to be seen, be prepared for something to come up. Be prepared for, old fears to come up, body sensations. So when you say that, I'm willing to be seen, I'd like you to then give attention to yourself, give attention to your body, and notice if there are any sensations, surprising or interesting, that arise for you. So I'd like you to, and just you can say it inside, but you can also say it out loud so that you can hear it. I know I'm willing to be seen. So for me, when I added the in the light, that was like when I'm here, when and also was when I arrived. I wasn't really seen with love, and it took years and years and years for me to actually, when I would receive attention, there would be this little cringe that would happen in me. And it was subtle when I first started opening up to it. So I invite you to go ahead and say that and then just pause and notice, I'm willing to be seen. And whatever else you want to add to that. So I'm willing to be seen all the time, or I'm willing to be seen even when I'm upset. I'm willing to be seen even when things are different. I have a different experience than others. Yeah, so just do that a couple of times. When I do that, I mostly get a kind of a fluttering up in here. And I realize as I tune into that when I was growing up, I would always get, whenever I get sick, I'd get respiratory problems in here. And this area emotionally is about sadness, loss. And I would get, for years and years, I would get respiratory, which I no longer get. So I know that practicing works. So those little places are probably asking for your attention. So giving that would be a great place to do love scoops with any place that has little ooh, ah. And then the other part of that is that I'm willing to see others fully. I'm willing to see, and how I'm thinking of seeing is I'm willing to attend. I'm willing to give my full attention to others. And I'd love for you to not only say that to yourself, but I'd like you to give attention to somebody on the call, or somebody that that you'd like to give attention to that's not on the call. And then again, bring back your attention to you and notice what that's like for you to say, I'm willing to to fully attend to others, and then play with that and letting your attention flow out. And then notice how that is for you when you bring attention back to you. So the combination of loop of awareness and then bringing your loop of awareness back to you, and then any love scoops for any part of you that wants attention. So what was just arising for me, these things can happen. They're so subtle, but it can be really a gateway into something quite profound, because I just was hugging myself and feeling my arms. And I had this memory of reaching up to have my father pick me up. I was maybe 3 years old. And him saying to me, "You're too big for that now." And my arms kind of that internalization of I did something wrong. It's not okay. So your body holds all of those incomplete experiences that you've had, and you can love them into integration. You can give attention to, oh yeah, that must have felt so sad to you and scary. Like when I'm feeling my arms, there's this sense of I gotcha, and that I can receive, and I can receive from myself. You can receive from yourself as well as receiving from others. So I invite you to let yourself play a little bit over the next couple of minutes with first giving attention to you. I'm willing to be seen. And whatever like sounds or blah that comes up for you, letting your body respond, because usually we're taught to be very, you know, you control yourself, people, also when I was out in public, there was, I had to behave in a certain way, to continue getting approval from family. So all of those things, letting yourself just bust through those and let your body respond, because that will give you so much more juice and aliveness, which is the point. If the point is not to get to someplace and then everything will be okay. The point is to let yourself have love and attention and being with yourself and being with others along the journey. Because to me, that's the big prize, is being able to give and receive this luscious attention. And as I'm looking at you and then coming back to myself, I feel like I'm gathering fruit in the basket, and I'm gathering all of this nutrient and all of this juice that I can continue to enjoy, and I can continue to distribute, and it keeps flowing. So it's a constant circle of giving and receiving. I bet you have friends. I've had friends, I would probably call them ex-friends by now, but people who are great at receiving, just like more and more and more and more and more. But it's like, I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? And then they go off into another story about themselves. So, so letting yourself be willing to receive. That was another thing that came to me, was that I would get my approval juice by the quality of attention that I could give. And I would know that I was really giving A+ attention. And I would kind of approve of myself, like, good job. But it's not the same as actually receiving attention from others, where somebody really sees you. And so for me, that's the art of what we're opening up to, is the art of all of the different ways that we can give and receive attention. That as we open up to that more and more, we become then a reservoir. We're like a mobile reservoir. And as we're moving around, oh, and by the way, our reservoir up here is now at 99%. And people are, yeah, there's a contest about who's got the time when it's first going to spill, when the reservoir is first going to spill, which it hasn't done, I believe, for like 25 years. So it's, this is a very, the reservoir can get filled. 5 years ago, our reservoir was at 27%. So your own personal reservoir, you might think, oh, it's too late, or, oh, I'm just going to have to sort of plow through my life and, kind of take the scraps. But it's possible, as you keep opening your willingness to be fully seen and your willingness to see fully. And as you may know, those of you who've been on the call a lot, I'm always using my body as I'm doing this, especially as I'm practicing. And I invite you to let your body support you with the gestures, with the movements that are the most nourishing to you. And also there's lots of research. If you let your body support you, you just get much, much more effective at learning the skill or practicing whatever it is you're practicing. So one more, I'm willing to be seen. I'm willing to be fully seen. And I'm willing to see. I'm willing to see you and you and you, and I'm willing to see me. And, I'm remembering my M&Ms. I have an M&Ms prescription that I give to people, because I had two brothers, and when we would get M&Ms, we always had to share. So if I got a package of M&Ms, I had to share with them. But what I would do is one for them and two for me, and one for them and two for me. So I'd like you to overbalance in the direction of yourself. One for you and two for me. Like a little extra. And even if you feel a little silly doing it, go ahead, because that's going to open up that you don't have to be graceful or, sophisticated, that you can be greedy and, all of the different ways that you want to receive attention. All right, beautiful. Ooh, that was so fun. I've just take a moment and notice if you've increased your aliveness. I've definitely increased my aliveness. And so you, of course, are responsible for increasing your aliveness. But it's great to notice that, oh, I just feel more streaming, or I feel more bubbly, or I'm lighter, or I can feel my face. I can feel my face. Or, oh, my shoulder blades have opened up. So all of those are signals that you're opening your aliveness. All right, super. So for those of you who may be new, what we do after we've done some practice of loop of awareness and love scoops, we look at an integrity card from our integrity deck, which the reason that we do this is that when you align yourself, you're aligned with reality, you're unkinking the hose of your being able to give and receive much more energy. So it's not a moral issue, it's really an alignment issue. So let's bring up the card for today, okay, Michelle? All right. Yes, I really love this one. So I'd like you to look at this, and then you can continue practicing, giving, because this is a card about somebody really seeing. That's one thing that's going on there. Someone is really seeing. So looking at the card, listening and noticing how your body is responding. I welcome emotions and sensations as they move through me. And I'll say that again. I welcome emotions and sensations as they move through me. And the question form, which kind of tickles a different part of your brain, is in what ways can I notice what I'm actually feeling and experiencing in the moment? So this allows us to land. So just take another look at all of the different, how your sensations and how your brain is stimulated by looking at the card and hearing. I'll say the question once more. In what ways can I notice what I'm actually feeling and experiencing in the moment? Because that's where you get the juice. If you're in your head thinking about it, you're not getting the open flow of aliveness. But emotions and sensations are the representatives of aliveness. That's how you know you're alive, is through your sensations and emotions. And they also carry intelligence. They carry the intelligence that you've inherited from, your ancestors. And you're here because of their ability to circulate sensations and emotions of all kinds. So opening up to receiving is another way of receiving. So I'm willing to receive the nutrient of my body sensations and my feelings. Uh, we use, someday I'm going to do a whole blog just on the word feeling, because we've corrupted the word feeling. So it really represents a whole other group of things, like, I feel like you did that wrong, which is not a feeling at all. But, or I feel like, or like, I feel like this isn't really going well. I even heard Rachel Maddow say that a couple of weeks ago. I went, oh, Rachel, I feel like it's a shortcut for a whole bunch of, like, I'm assessing, this is my opinion, but it's not, I feel. So your actual feeling is the flow of sensations in your body. So just take a moment right now and notice, where are sensations flowing in you right now? And you're noticing them. My experience is, when I notice them, it adds oomph. I'm adding my attention, and that increases the circulation. I'm convinced that that's one of the things that our attention does, is it actually improves our circulation. And so when you're welcoming your feelings and your sensations, even the ones that may feel difficult to you, or, you just, oh, go, here comes that thing again that I've been feeling since I was 3 years old. And here it is again. And, that I should be finished with this. But they're really the themes for each of us. The constellations of body sensations and feelings are the way that each of us are able to increase our circulation of aliveness. And I love too the the little guy who's in here. I used to love to go underwater, and so for me also water is very representative of feelings and emotions. And I used to freak out my parents because I could stay underwater for a really, really long time. I could go down to the bottom of the pool and just hang out because in that element, I just felt so, welcome and in the flow. And besides, we're 80 to 90% water. So, identifying, I am the flow, I'm in the flow, I'm just encased by skin. But if skin weren't here, I'd just be flowing out into everything. So for this week, I really feel those two things go together of I'm willing to be seen. I'm willing to see, feel that is experience, my body sensations and emotions. And I predict that as you do that, you're going to experience more aliveness. And for me, I want to just keep expanding my aliveness lifelong. And I've not reached the limit yet. I mean, I haven't reached like, okay, that's it. Okay, we've arrived. Now we just sort of hang out, go back in the cave. That you can be first of great service to yourself, and then through your experience of great service to others. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here. We're in full springtime now. We had a bunch of rain yesterday, but I think the rains may be over. And we got 28 plus inches this year, which is way over normal. So miracles happen. All right. So thank you for the miracle of you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.